We are live. Good afternoon, Crystal. How are you, ma'am?
I'm wonderful. And yourself?
I'm doing excellent. It's a good day to be me. Good day to be talking with
Awesome.
you on this broadcast. I hope you're having a great sunny Monday afternoon.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
It's not
Uh,
bad. Sometimes
yeah,
that's all we can do is it's not
that's
bad.
all I can give you, dude. It's not bad.
No worries. I'll take
Oh,
that.
some days I can give you far more, but today ain't one of them.
All right.
and not and not that there's anything going on. Just I'm a little tired. I have my sleeping has been off since the time change.
Yes, I think that's caught a lot of us.
Yeah, so that's it.
That's
Now,
it.
how are you, though?
I'm doing great. I'm excited about our topic. I'm always excited about the topic that we have. I've started this little bit of a series. It's sort of kind of an edgy thing, and today is no different. This is number 2 in that edgy topic series, and this one is about the differences between a fiduciary, a record keeper, and how people get into trouble when they think that their record keeper is a
Mm.
fiduciary. So
Ah,
yeah, it's especially important for folks who hire advisors as well as folks who hire HR consultants. So a lot of the folks that you're working with, they're probably in danger of falling prey to this particular trap. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. Um,
I would say so because now that you're saying that, in every company that I worked in, the HR person was the one that was facilitating the pension plan or whatever retirement plan.
mhm. And that's very appropriate. And the only problem with that, there's no problem with that. That's a wonderful thing. Part of the issues is that I've never seen a course or very much understanding or development in college with regard to HR folks and a company retirement plan. They kind of get this information on the job. And
Hmm.
sometimes that's incomplete. And sometimes, if they don't have really good partners, um, things go in a different way than they want them to do. And I'm going
Hmm.
to say this again, but one of my favorite expressions, of course, is you can outsource responsibility, but not accountability. So we're going to go back to what that really means just as soon as I read your bio.
All right, sounds good.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining Crystal and myself here on the patio with Crystal and Jevon. Crystal is a business coach and consultant. She's the CEO of Mitchell Business Solutions, a co-director of Recycling Black Dollars. She's the co-host of the Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert. That's another weekly online radio show. She's an
Hmm.
instructor at Mount San Antonio Community College, a certified network for teaching entrepreneurship instructor, and a QuickBooks Pro Advisor financial strategist. Hey, Crystal.
Hey, everyone. Hey, Javon. Good to be here.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. And I'm Jevon Thomas, retirement plan advisor. And we're here to talk today about the difference between a fiduciary and a record keeper and why that can be kind of dangerous. So let's just jump
Hmm.
right in.
Okay.
So, in this industry, we have lots of players. Uh, we have record keepers, those big companies that uh, produce statements and give out loans and make sure the distributions are right. We have those folks. We have what we call third party administrator. Those are the people that actually design the 401k plan and make sure that the plan sponsor, and sometimes that's the owner of the organization or the leader of the organization, make sure that
Hmm.
they stay fiduciarily compliant. And
Hmm.
that's a big word. Fiduciary means, simply put, responsibility with money, right?
Okay.
So that means
Yeah.
if, right? And often those folks are responsible for the workings of the plan, jo- um, and their personal assets are on the line as well. So not just the company assets, but the personal assets. So they need protection, and they need to rely upon good partners, and they need to understand who those partners are. So when we take, and of course we have the advisor, folks like myself, who provide guidance to participants. When we choose funds, we help that plan sponsor make good decisions. And Crystal, that's really the deal. When you're dealing with your folks and they're thinking they want to have a retirement plan, do they ever think about, who do I want to help me make sure I do this the right way?
They don't.
And and admittedly, sometimes depending on the size of the company, that's going to determine, in large part, what they feel their exposure is, right? So in very small firms where there are very few employees, let's just back up and say most plan sponsors I know don't start a company and start a retirement plan so that other people can take care of their family.
Right.
Most of these folks start so that they themselves, so that she can become what do you call it? She can be the responsible person. She can take care of her family and what's going on there, right?
Exactly.
But we do have to remember that the retirement plan, the 401k or the 403b, it's still an employee benefit. And so they are all designed with the employee in mind, and the employer has to know how to benefit that. And that's why it's so good to have good partners who can actually see both sides of that fence. How's this work for the employer? How's it work for the employee? When I set up plans, I have this thing where I suggest that the retirement plan should not be just a cost center. It should actually be something that helps that organization reach their goals.
Mm-hmm.
Not to turn this into a commercial, but like I said before, if someone starts a retirement plan, they rarely start that for other people. Okay, now
Right,
if we
exactly.
fast forward through the growth of the plan, so after they get started with you and they're doing some business, they've been with you for a few years, and you've got their books in line, their processes, you're getting those worked out. Now the plan is starting to become a tool for that plan sponsor, that business owner, that group leader, to bring people into the organization.
Right.
It's a marketing tool. It's a hiring tool. It's a reward tool. It's no longer something that's going to help them reach their retirement goal.
Right, exactly.
Right?
And then if it happens to retain a few employees that was valuable, then they were quite happy. They might look at it differently after that, but prior to that, no.
Exactly. You're spot on. In fact, we call them the 3 R's: recruit, retain, and reward.
Right.
But for employees. Okay.
Right.
So what is that record keeper's job? Well, again, their job is to process contributions. It's to create statements. It's to process loans. It's to process distributions. They don't make investment decisions. They can't tell you this is a good fund for your plan or not a good fund for your plan. They can't tell you that this is a good target date fund for your plan, for your particular group of people. They can't do that. And if it looks like they're kind of doing that, somebody ain't right. Either you're misleading that quote, or they're saying it in a way that's not correct, because they are not fiduciarily responsible. They're not going to take that on.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Mm-hmm. They're not going to do it. It's too much liability. You get right down to it.
Right. And they generally don't know too much more about it than the employees do.
Oh, now I don't know about that.
I'm just thinking back when I worked in corporate America, and because I was always bookkeepers always kind of like, and especially if you do payroll, you're the other part of HR actually. You kind of work hand in hand. And I'm just thinking back to the people that were doing HR, and I'd say no, they didn't have that knowledge.
Oh, yes, you are correct. The HR people are just barely sometimes a wee bit more knowledgeable than the employees, but
Yeah,
the
the fiduciary people, a record keeper person.
record keeper, so that big
Okay.
company that puts out your statements
Oh,
and
okay.
you call to, that's a very, thank you for making that clarification because you're spot on. So that big company, they know they're just not taking the liability, but they
Right,
know.
right, right, right.
So fiduciary does not equal accountability. I mean, that's where we're getting down to it. So the plan sponsor, the owner of that organization, they have the responsibility to produce a plan that's going to be beneficial for their employees, right? They have the responsibility to act in the best interest of the participants, whatever that is. If that means they've got some alternative investments, or if that means they have some investments that are only extremely uh, modest, if that whatever
Mhm.
that is, if that
Mhm.
means that they have a particular amount of loans that they're going to allow versus not, or all kinds of things that go into that. It's on the response. It's on the shoulders of the plan sponsor to
Right.
make those decisions because they're the ones who have the fiduciary responsibility. Nobody else does. I don't, as an advisor, I don't have that.
Right.
Not me. And if you're thinking that, as a person who makes widgets, I'm not so familiar with the rules and regulations of a retirement plan, I need to get some help. And that's when they reach out to folks like myself, folks like the record keeper, the folks that produce the loans, folks like third party administrators who make sure that that document is the same, or someone who's going to oversee all of that.
Mhm.
The reality is, you can outsource responsibility, but you cannot outsource accountability.
Right. Exactly.
So when the person sues you because your investments were too expensive, that advisor might say, well, we can protect you because we have 338 insurance. Uh-uh. No, 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 no. They can stand beside you, depending on their insurance. They may throw some money in the hat, but the ultimate responsibility is on you, the business owner.
Mm.
That's the way that goes. Um,
Right. Right. Right.
right? So we have to make sure we understand that. So how does someone like yourself or an HR consultant, how do you help these guys out? How do you make sure that they're getting the um, the help they need? Well, I'm going to tell you.
Okay. All right. Tell me. Please inform me. Enlighten me.
Just in case you need to tell someone, first thing you got to do is clarify the roles. The
Right.
first thing you got to do is, if you're the plan sponsor and you approach someone like myself and say, okay, Jevon, I need a retirement plan. My first concern is making sure you understand these are the different players and this is
Mm.
what they do.
Right.
If you walk into my office or I walk into your office and you say, Javon, I need to have a retirement plan, and I start talking about the stocks that you can invest in and the loans, then I have messed up. That is not cool. The first
Mm.
thing is, this is what I do. This is what the record keeper does. This is what the third party administrator does. I will help you put together this team,
Mhm.
but ultimately the decision is upon
It's
you.
just up to you.
And
Okay.
I can't take it away.
Okay.
Right. So that's one. That's number one. The other is, make sure that you get when you take a look at these contracts, we're going to put together this team. Everybody's got a contract. The record keeper has one. The third party administrator has one. I've got one. We all have the contract. And
Okay.
as that plan sponsor, you should look for that phrase that says, we are not acting in a fiduciary capacity.
Mm.
We are not. And if you
Mm.
see that, then you have a pretty good chance of knowing that the people that you're dealing with are honest with you. Right?
Okay.
If you
Okay.
see something like, oh, we have fiduciary responsibility, then I would be very, very suspect. Very
Mm.
suspect, right? Now, that doesn't mean that you can't get some help. Like I said, you can pay people to help you. You can sort of shed some of that responsibility, and I hope you do. You can hire someone like myself to help with fund selection. You can hire a 321 that's going to help with fund selection, a 338 that's going to say this is specifically the funds you should invest in. You can hire
Mm-hmm.
a 316 to help with um, someone that helps with the processes that you have with regard to pulling the money from participants, putting the money into the record keeper account, and that all of those transactions, making sure the loans are appropriate and the things come out at the right time. You can hire a 316 person to do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
all worthwhile stuff. I'm never going to poo-poo that stuff. But ultimately, it comes back to the plan sponsor. They need to be aware of that. And the things have come nowadays to where most of us that are professionals in this business, we've been doing this for a long time, so that if you gather one of them and they help you gather the team, there's a pretty good chance your team is going to protect you.
Mm.
I don't want to scare people and say, look, oh, you've got all this responsibility and you got no help and it's all on you and you need to make sure that you get it. And by the way, hire me. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. No, I'm not saying that.
Oh, okay.
I am saying that it is some responsibility out there, and you can't delegate the responsibility. I'm sorry, you can't delegate the accountability. You can delegate the responsibility. So you're gonna have to ride roughshod on these folks. Make sure they're giving you the reports that you need. Make sure they're explaining things in a way that makes sense. Make sure that you understand what's going on, so that you can trust who's actually handling that business for you. You can't just
Mm.
hands off and let it go. And here's another interesting thing for you. Um, the often, as the owner of an organization, I know for myself as an owner of my organization, I pretty much say what happens and I let people do what they have to do, but I run the deal. Well, the plan is run by and owned for the benefit of the participants.
Mm.
So if the owner goes and steals money, the plan has to, that's the plan that's going to have to compensate for that, right? So
Okay.
if the company shuts down, the plan's still there. It's still doing what it's got. It's still got there. So, when you're making decisions about your plan, understand that it is an entity in and of itself. It's a thing separate from the owner. It's a thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So let me ask this question. So in your career or in your time frame of doing this, how many companies right off the bat are like ready to jump in there and do all that they're supposed to do and follow everything to the letter to the law?
How many of them do that?
Uh-huh.
I would say a huge amount do.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah,
Good.
I would
So
say.
they're ready by the time they get to you.
No, I didn't say that. They're most definitely not ready. And so, often by the time they get to me or get through our relationship, they find out there's a lot of work that I got to do here that I didn't know about.
Okay.
And there's some, I've got time periods or timelines, and I've got to make sure I do this, and I have to set up a program to get this done. Um, and it's a thing. It is something that has to be done, and it's not something you want to take lightly, because we are talking about people's money.
Right, exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah, and there's the expectation. There's the expectation and the protection of ERISA, that insurance,
Mm-hmm.
that body of laws that
Right.
governs retirement plans. Okay. So
Okay.
the last thing that I want to say about that is, of course, you can outsource responsibility, and I think you as a plan sponsor should do that. You should get
Mm-hmm.
some help. You should get an advisor. You should get a really good record keeper. Most times, I think you should get a third party administrator so they can help you design the plan that makes sense for you. You should think about the 328 and the 330, the 321 and the 338 to see how that works for you. Some plans don't need it. depending on your advisor and your third-party administrator. That's cool. You got to find the one that works for you.
Okay.
You should consider the 316. And all this is kind of running around how big is your organization? How complex is your organization? And what do you want to use this plan for? Do you want to take it from a cost center to turn it into a profit center? If that's the case, you need some help. If it's just going to be a little bit of a cost center that you sort of like throw away and don't think about every now and then, you might get away with a skeleton crew. But you better be careful.
Okay.
And that's it.
Okay. Yeah, because again, it's all, especially when it's all new, and they're doing it for themselves. Sometimes all that other extras, like, but I wanted to do this for me. Why did I do all this other stuff?
Yes, you're exactly right. And most of us as professionals are there once we know you to help you. So if you run into a snag, you want to come talk to us so we can figure out the best way to go around that or help you get over that, because there's all kinds of ways to skin a cat. So I just had someone come to me and say, I can't do this match anymore. I can't do it. Well, you've already promised it. Well, I can't do it. What are we going to do? We got to work through that, right? We have to figure out how that's going to work. Or we didn't give the match. You didn't give the match? No, we didn't give the match for a couple of years. Did you tell people you're going to give a match? Yes. Did you give them the match? No. This is a problem.
Okay.
So, there are ways to figure things out, but you really do need a good team around you. So that's why it's so important for you to understand what your responsibilities are and how people can help you, and then lean on them and meet with them on a regular basis so that they can be, you all can be on the same page. So
right. Exactly. Okay.
So that's that.
All righty. Well, those are the little things that will keep you out of trouble and keep you accountable in a world that accountability means absolutely nothing.
Right? Exactly. And I know that I didn't give you much warning, so I'm just going to read your bio. And if there is something that you want to say at the end, then most definitely please do. But I do think it's important for people to know exactly who it is that I'm working with here.
Okay, no problem. I agree.
Everybody, we have been talking with Crystal Mitchell. She's a business coach and consultant. She's the CEO of Mitchell Business Solutions, a co-director of Recycling Black Dollars. She's the co-host of The Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert, that other radio show. She's an instructor at Mount San Antonio Community College, a certified network for teaching entrepreneurship instructor, and a QuickBooks Pro Advisor financial strategist, which, I have to admit is my favorite thing that you do. It just sounds cool.
The Pro Advisor part.
Any last comments?
No, I think it's very important though that everyone understands. When you take on benefit packages for you, yourself, and your employees, that you truly administer them the correct way, because the employees have some sort of expectation once you've made that announcement to them, and it's all about the people. But I know in some places, in some time frames, errors, that we forget that the people, the people power is what keeps us in business. So we want to make them happy.
Great. I could not have said that better myself. That is so spot on. And let's leave it right there. We'll come back next week for another edgy topic on 401ks. And I'm Jevon Thomas with Jevon Thomas Retirement Plan Consultants. Crystal and my names are down there below, and our contact information if you want to get in touch with us. And we'll see you next week.
All right, everyone. Bye-bye. Have a good week.